Hi, and welcome to another episode of Balanced Bride. I'm Simone G, and Farah J is on vacation. Nevertheless, we know she's having a blast, and we would hope that she turns up thinking about us. I don't know. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. Even in Farah's absence, we still have an amazing show for you. But before we tell you about today's show, let me give you guys a few reminders. Please don't forget to follow us on @BalanceBride_ on IG. And don't forget to use our hashtags, #BeBalance, #BalanceBride, #BeABalanceBride. Okay, so let's get right into it. Today we have a special treat for you. We are interviewing Jeannine Myers with Briza on the Bay. It's such a pleasure to introduce her. Jeannine is Director of Social Catering and Events at Briza on the Bay in Miami, Florida. She has over 15 years of experience in the wedding and destination wedding field, including destination management, event coordinating, production, and get this, guys, on her downtime, she is an amazing hip-hop dance instructor. So that's pretty dope. So she's a planner, a catering manager by day, and a hip-hop dancer by night. Hi, Jeannine. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being. You're our first guest speaker. Usually it's just me and Sarah. Thank you so much.
I truly am honored.
Awesome. Thank you. So you are the Director of Sales and Catering. I bet you have seen it all.
Yes, I have. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the pretty.
The pretty. So tell us about we always want to hear the bad, but, tell us about the pretty. What's the pretty?
The pretty is obviously, being able to see that amazing wedding come to from the start of the contract to meeting the client, the whole 9 yards, and then obviously being able to see it to fruition and you have a happy couple. And that's the pretty, when you, not to mention, and the icing on the cake would be obviously when you get a wonderful review from these clients, expressing to them how happy they were they chose you and the venue, and it just makes me realize, I'm living my purpose and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, So that would definitely, I would say, the pretty is.
Okay. I love it. Yeah. Living in your purpose. I'm going to, you need to hashtag that. Living in your purpose. That's pretty cool.
Yes,
Tell us about your experience in the event and wedding planning industry.
Well, it happened back in 2004. I kind of was studying. I was in another field, working towards another education and career goal, and I always found myself drawn to coordinating events. And I had a friend who was working at an all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean, and they had an opening in their wedding department, and I was feeling like I needed to jump, and I literally leaped, hop, skip, jump, and fell into working in a wedding department of a all-inclusive resort that does destination weddings. I'm not sure if I can mention the name, but either way, I went ahead and took this job and started to work my way up. Got promoted after about 8 months to doing group destination weddings. Started off as a document agent, reviewing the mayor's license and documents, stuff like that, to apply for the different islands. But soon, it was where I wanted to be. I had the opportunity to travel to a lot of beautiful Caribbean islands, and I fell in love with it. Soon after a couple 6 years there, moved into working for a real high-end event company where I learned everything from, you name it. They could have had a reality show about this experience in this high-end event company, from transforming an airplane hangar to looking like you were in a club in south of France in a whole Bordeaux, very chic and very, very that cabaret type scene, and hiring an artist. Just transforming this space, and I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, making dreams happen, from the design elements and putting together. So kind of worked my way, working through other venues, and ended up at Briza in 2014. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I heard you say that you did destination weddings. I did destination weddings as well. And don't you just love destination weddings? I think
I
my
do.
most favorite thing was I love the traveling. And I just loved how people, just wanted to have that whole vacation, family reunion / we're getting married. And I loved it. I had so much fun. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, prior to working at the resort company, didn't really ever see myself doing a destination. I only knew going to weddings locally or doing in your hometown. The whole thought of going away was always seemed different for me. But I once working in that field and realizing the amount of money you save, because as a bride and groom, you can invite 100 people to a destination wedding, but most likely you'll probably may not have the turnout you would have it compared to booking a hometown wedding. So I found that clients were saying, you know what, I'll take the $25,000-$30,000 and maybe spend 10, and then I don't have to. Guests have to pay their own way, and so it's you're able to cut down your guest count. And again, you're really truly just having that intimate group that you want there. I mean, a big destination wedding, 30 to 40 guests is huge. 50 guests, that's huge for a destination wedding. Yeah.
Yes. So, awesome. No, I agree 100%. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, on the contrary, the only thing that I was missing out on is obviously I'll do all the coordination locally, but the coordinators on site got to actually see it to fruition. And we just had to sit back and wait till we heard back from the clients when they returned back home. So that was the only things I felt cheated on, that I didn't get to see it come to fruition. But
I think that was rewarding. Probably my least as well, because you would get to know. It's the same as even a wedding locally here in your home state, your hometown. You get to know the client, and you're talking to them on a regular basis, and then for them to, of course, they're going to this destination to have their wedding, and it's like no closure almost. It's like, I need closure with your wedding,
Yeah, kind of feel like, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see pictures and I did have a couple of experiences where I was able to be there on site for the day of the wedding and everything, and that was great. But a majority of them were just like how you described, where, you're planning from here in the U.S. and you send there, they have an on-site coordinator in the islands, and you don't really get to, sometimes even meet the client. You just talk to them on the phone, and that's really, really it. But that's the beauty of it. But I agree with you. You feel a little cheated, just a tad bit.
Exactly. No, exactly. But again, as I said, it's part of the nature of the business, and you understand it. But as I said, professionally, I felt like I needed to learn more on that side, and that's why it was such a great experience working at that other high-end event and production company, where I was able to meet and see the client, and again take it from the proposal from paper, and then see that event get executed. So that's that was another benefit.
Awesome. Okay, so you did destination weddings. You worked for a high-end company. You're now at Briza. Tell me about Briza. Tell me about your experiences, and tell me about your loves and all that stuff with Briza.
Yes, so Briza is a fairly new venue. The owners opened it up roughly around 2011. I think they started have their first set of events in 2011, 2012. I joined the team, maybe a year or two after. It's a 5,000 square feet venue that is fully equipped with lighting, sound equipment. It spaces the bay, so completely has a beautiful view of the Sea Isle Marina, and again, offers that a different experience opposed to like a hotel ballroom with carpet and chandeliers, and again, having all the fixings with LED lighting already built in, and also having a lot of those modern features that clients now are, more educated and definitely want more bang for their buck, for lack of better words. So at Briza, I have helped, implement to, put together packages, get our word out there with help of our marketing team, and just, being more present and being a force to be reckoned with as far as in the event industry and in weddings. As I said, every South Florida has such an abundance of hotels. Every hotel can do a wedding or a ballroom, but I think what sets us aside would be our food, the quality, and obviously the view.
Right,
Yeah.
of course. And not to you can the food undeniable. I've had the pleasure, the enjoyment. My palate has enjoyed it. The food is absolutely amazing. I agree with you 100%. Not to mention, I love Briza. There are a lot of options here in South Florida. I would agree, but it is a different type of venue. And you know, it appeals to if you're coming down from Canada, to if you're here locally, to a lot of different brides love this, and they can do so much. I love that you can do glam, but you can also, you know, have play off the theme that is on the marina and everything like that, and it can still be elegant, it can still be beautiful, and it's definitely hands down a one of a kind event. Venue space.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely is. I mean, you talk about the food. I mean, being in South Florida, it's such a diverse community, you know, so I can't imagine any venue not having amazing food and still being in the market because,
That's
you know.
Funny that you say that. It's very possible, believe me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, put it this way. I tell my clients all the time, I said, my cousin got married here and can't have any more a bigger ultimate credit than your family. So,
right.
And I was pleased to say that everybody was completely happy, kept pulling me aside during the wedding to say that this food is amazing. This is a great space, that this is your job, and they were so excited, and they was really happy to be able to have my family, you know, and my cousin's new family. Mind you, a mix of cultures at that, I must state. My cousin is half Jamaican and from Barbados, and her fiancé is from Nicaragua, and my family is partially from Trinidad as well. So everybody was happy at that wedding as far as food-wise and quality. So
yeah, you gotta bring it. Because all of those cultures, everyone, they love to eat. Food is important. And so you just can't serve them anything. It's got to be amazing.
Yes, and it was, and that's what really makes me happy, you know, to be able to be a client and have that perspective from that day. So I'm able to share those stories with a lot of my clients, you know, and to earn their trust, you know, especially, you know, being, you know, in a very diverse community. And, you know, sometimes clients do have concerns about food quality, and that's probably another thing I always have to emphasize and explain and, you know, give them my 2 cents in that sense to put them at ease.
Gotcha. And I agree 100%. So, like you mentioned, you know, talking about food and gaining a client's trust. I know, you know, lots of different brides, couples, you know, come to your space. They want to see the space and everything like that. And they're probably shopping at other different venues and other different spaces and everything like that. What are some tips that you would give to couples searching for a venue, things that they should look for or questions that they might need to ask? Or, you know, I'm sure you answer the questions maybe before they even ask them, but just in general, like, you know, what are we looking for when we're searching for our venue?
Well, I think, obviously each client is individual. Each client, you have to treat them as an individual case in that sense. And obviously and every bride and groom has different wants and needs, different budgets, different specifications that are important to them. So no two clients is the same. However, they still have a common denominator where that they want to get married in a beautiful place, have great food, you know, and have great experience. And also, more importantly, they want to make sure that they have money in the kitty, if you know what I mean, for honeymoon and for future, because budget is something that we deal with every client. You know, I'm saying not with all, but in the sense that they want to be mindful of their spending. These clients are coming with more tools. They have more resources to educate themselves on pricing and so forth. So it's really it's not so much a struggle, but it's you know, I definitely have to put my work in to, you know, explain to them. And I always do encourage my clients to, I understand they are shopping around, so I anticipate it. So I try to at least provide a good service, because at the end of the day, they're a wedding, they're a couple, they're in love, they want to get married. And I'm human. I want that to happen, and I would love for it to happen at our venue. But ultimately, I know if they don't book us or not, I think the best thing to do is to get enough quotes, visit enough venues, and then factor out what's important. You know, is this a better venue because it has a hotel nearby? Is this a better venue because it's closer to where the majority of the family lives? You know, are the guests coming from a cold area? Would they love to be in an area that can offer a lot of activities? So there's a few things, you know, so that I would say each client is different, and they all have needs. Some will tell you straight up, I only have $10,000. then
Right.
that's when I will find ways to, you know, work around and say, okay, are you open to maybe a Friday wedding, Sunday wedding? So there's always ways to work and try to attend to the client's needs based on, you know, what they're working with. But ultimately, I think they all want to have a beautiful wedding, you know, and I'm happy to be able to give them that, you know, perspective.
Do you suggest that they maybe go to 4 venues, 8 venues? You know, what would you suggest? Like if you were in their shoes, like, because I always feel sometimes like if you try to go and visit 20 venues, I mean, really, at some point, it all just becomes
venue exhaustion. You get venue exhaustion. Well, the grooms come in whenever I see that a couple come in, and the groom, I can already see it that he is on venue overload. So I'm already like so I have to win him over and make sure that I put him at ease. And again, it's always really cute to see it. I don't know if 20 is a little bit excessive. I mean, I would say what most clients do, they do try and do as much homework on each venue prior to then, say, scheduling tours. So therefore, they are just going to their top 3, top 5. But I mean, again, if they're let's face it, you know, everybody works, so not everybody has every weekend, you know, from, you know, for the next 2 months ago, venue hunting. It's a lot. But I would definitely say do your research in advance. Find out read reviews too, and I'll talk about reviews later too, because
right.
Read reviews, get feedback, you know, look at pictures, look what kind of presents they have, and then also ultimately go visit, you know, and see if you could really see yourself in this space for your special day. But I think venue exhaustion and too many tours, it could be overwhelming because you start to forget.
Right.
You know?
No, I agree. So I like that. So no more than 5, right? So do your homework. Go online. Go to whatever website, Wedding Wire Not, whatever resource it is that you're using, and you know, take a look at the venues. Put in the parameters. I'm looking to spend this much, because I think you can do that on those sites now, and they'll populate a list of venues that seem to fit. Yeah, narrow it down for you. So out of that, pick 5. I mean, 5 at maximum, 3 at minimum, and that's where you're going. You're looking at the pictures online, so you kind of have an idea of what you're looking for, and you're going to those. You're making those appointments, but 20 is just out of the question. It's too much.
Yeah. I mean, also, too, depending on how much time you have, because sometimes clients are planning 6 months in, a year and a half out, 2 years out, so maybe you have a little more freedom and you're not so pressed to find a date. So I'll find, you know, I think clients have less time. They don't have the luxury to shop around because obviously dates book up all the time, especially if it's off season, on, you know, low season, etc. So I would definitely say do much research in advance so that you're not driving around, you know, going to venues that has a venue fee that you couldn't, that alone would wipe out your whole budget, you know. So
Right. Killing. So just kind of like kill it before, know what you need to know before you get there, so that you're not too surprised. Maybe a little's okay, not too much, but you have a pretty good idea of what you're getting yourself into ahead of time. Research, everybody. That's the key. Okay, so that's when clients come to you and they're searching for their venue. What about vendors? I mean, I'm sure you've seen them come and you've seen them go, and you've seen a multitude of different type of vendors. What type of vendors are you looking for as a venue, or what do you suggest to your clients?
Well, I would say as far as shopping with vendors or just working, I mean, vendors, they're our best resource in that sense that they also are meeting clients all the time, and having good relationships just, you know, creates for a successful event. Strictly, because obviously I've met a lot of, we don't have restrictions as far as what vendors can come, and I've met a lot of vendors who have become part of our vendor family, and then I've met vendors who I just wonder how they're even in the business. So again, too, and not to knock on everybody. Yeah, we're not going to name any names, but again, and you know, and personalities, and I would just say, you know, vendor relationships are key in this business, because at the end of the day, once you've earned the client's trust, then the next step is to go ahead and recommend the vendor. And then when you recommend that vendor, you want to make sure that client is getting back that full service based on your recommendation, because you've already earned their trust. So the next step, where if I send a client to a DJ, then I expect that that DJ vendor or whoever to give my client the most attention and quality of service.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. So that I agree. You keep a list of vendors that you've worked with, that you enjoy working with, and that you feel most comfortable when referring clients to. And then you will probably also have a little list on the side of vendors that's just like, not today. No, we.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, and at the end of the day, I know everybody wants to earn money and wants to pick up, but some people just aren't built out for every line of work.
I agree.
And I guess, and that's fine. It just, you could tell the professionals, you could tell people who've been in business and people who are just doing it recreation, which is fine too. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to deter anybody, but more importantly, once I've earned a client's trust and I'm sending it along with care, I expect, to have that same reciprocated back to our clients.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. So, okay. So with all this being said and all your experiences, we always like to tell a story or two about an experience. So do you want to tell a story or an experience where it was absolutely wonderful? No, let's not do that. Let's tell what's the most interesting thing, not necessarily we don't, bad, but it was just very interesting what happened, and what lesson did you learn from it?
Well, I have two stories, actually.
Okay.
I mean, I'll shorten up both of them. I had made recommendations to a client about hiring a day of wedding planner, which is almost as important as hiring an amazing photographer, in my opinion. It's the best part of the budget I tell my clients that they'll ever spend. They wanted to use family friends that had some background and knowledge and so forth. However, long story short, their ceremony was off-site. Chairs didn't get delivered on time.
Ooh.
Therefore, that was just a trickling down effect. Whereas in ceremony didn't start on time, so therefore cocktail didn't start on time. With that affecting the venue in the sense that, okay, well, cocktail didn't start on time, then in order to make back that time, the bride had to come out of pocket to pay an extra hour right up front. Yes. And you feel terrible. Me as a salesperson felt terrible, but I just, there's no other way. Nobody went to check. Nobody from the family went to check to make sure the chairs were delivered. They just assumed that the company they hired would deliver it at the set time, and they didn't. So when guests are arriving, everybody's having to wait for chairs to get set up. So again, those are those experiences where, I felt terrible, but it's one of those things that it could have been avoided if they did have a day of planner who was not actually a family member that's getting ready for a wedding as well and just helping out at the reception, but nobody was there to kind of just double check that the chairs and so forth arrived. So
gotcha. Wow, that is scary within itself. And I mean, again, it goes back to what you just said, hiring even if, I do understand that everyone's on a budget and everyone, you want to save a little money here and there, and having a full planner can be a little costly. So at least, having
No, and I get that too.
Yeah.
Right. Which is
having
why
a day of coordinating.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Just to tie in and make sure all those delivery times are coordinated and make sure they have a point of contact if they're running. Just all those little things that could pop up is exactly why they do hire somebody. And again, it is just tough to put it on somebody who is attending a wedding, getting ready for a wedding, to put that responsibility on somebody else who is their main priority is to get ready, get makeup done and get ready. So it's pretty hard to leave that to somebody who is attending the wedding versus hiring a planner who would have an assistant to help,
Right. Who's not a part of the wedding, who's there to, help you get everything, who's your go-to. That's how I explain it. We're your go-to when it comes to the day of your wedding, So anyone have any questions, or your vendors, or what time do we eat, or all that good stuff, it's like where's, your coordinator, find your, whoever your coordinator is. And that's why I agree. Even though we're coordinators, it's not because we're coordinators that I agree. It's just, it makes perfect sense.
Things happen. And it's really hard for one of your guests to have to sacrifice their getting the drink on.
Yeah,
Worrying about
exactly.
it. I pick up the cake. Where's your cake? Where's your cake cutter? And if you have the garter on, and it's just a little hard. And again, I get it. I come from a big family where everybody wants to help and be a part of this day, but you just have to say, I'm hiring a day planner, and she's gonna take care. And then you're there, so everybody can enjoy the day.
Right, absolutely.
I had another aunt or somebody. She came to me at the end of the wedding because they again decided to not hire a professional day of non-guest, non-family member. At the end of the event, towards the end, she came up to me. She said, Jeannine, I wish I wasn't the planner for this. I love my niece, goddaughter, etc. But I only got to dance the last 10, 15 minutes, or even I barely get a bite to eat because she was too busy running around. So I felt terrible.
Oh, and that's so sad.
Yes, and she's like, oh, I've never done it. I'm like, oh. So these are little stories I share to kind of, not say scare my brides, but just to give them to get that insight. Because I think they don't really think about it. I know they're trying to save money, but I tell them, I said, you waited all your life for this special day. Put aside the money and just maybe hire for a day of. Maybe it would just make you, because there's no going back. There's no way to get that back.
Right. I agree. So you said you had 2 stories.
Yes, and then I would say the second story was very early in like my first year or so with the venue. I was working. We had a situation with the gift card box.
Oh,
again,
I know this one.
Yeah.
I was
again, there. Things happen, and again, gift card box is one of those very touchy. My staff is trained not to go near it, touch it. It's responsibility of the client. I mean, ultimately, we want to make sure that our integrity of the venue is maintained. But, when things happen or there's a +1 added, there's a guest that maybe not a completely real guest, or just kind of a date of someone or whatever the case may be, that gift card box is truly ultimate responsibility. I mean, obviously for the planner to kind of oversee, however, to monitor and let the family or the parents or the bride and groom have full control of its whereabouts to avoid any mishaps. In this one particular situation, bride came to doing her tallying up after wedding and was missing some envelopes. So it's just, it was just, it became an awkward situation, and
it did.
Just an unnecessary, yes. And it's the last thing when you have such a wonderful, beautiful event, and then to come to find out that, you could possibly have some dishonest people that were at your wedding and you're missing. Again, it's a really mixed bag, I would say, but it's just something that bride and grooms, I think, need to be more on top of, or just, maybe have their parents more diligent with it once it's out, or even do online gifts or have stuff, that's a digital gift certificates, or, maybe the honey fund or those other alternatives. But
I agree. Yeah, no, and I remember that wedding, and their wedding was so pretty.
Yes.
They had such a beautiful wedding, and we were there as the day of coordinators. And it was also, up until that moment, it was the last thing I felt like someone, like it's just like not even in your thought process. Like who would steal someone's gift cards? Like that is so weird to me.
But it happened.
For it to happen, it was just like, what? And I agree. I had to do a whole training with anyone that worked with me or helped me or anything. I did a whole online training about it. To this day, it's recorded, and I send it to anyone that wants to consider working with us, because that was a huge lesson. I had never had an experience like that. And
definitely for us too. And it's something that we, as I said, again, it's at that point, who to point fingers at, but at the end of the day, to learn from it and make the proper steps in place, and to also train my staff and make sure that everybody's fully aware that it's not to be touched. It's the client's responsibility through the planner, i.e. the family, maybe have a lock on it or have it that it's, not so accessible. But again, at the end of the day, you pray that this will never happen to you, but you have to be proactive instead of reactive. That's
right. And what it caused me to do was alert, while I'm going through planning with my clients, with my brides, is just, and I don't go into every detail, but, I do explain to them why it's important for us to make sure that we have a point of contact with regards to your box, so that we can call that, usually it's like the mom or the dad who will come and get the box, and they'll hold on to the box at their table, or they might put it at the bride and groom table, so that just in case there are leftovers or something like that. But, up until that point, again, it was never a thought that something like that could happen, because it's like, this is this person's happy moment. Like, why would you want them to be unhappy? Exactly. It was so weird.
It was, and, even prior, when my sister got married back in 2008, we bought a box from Party City. My mother glued it shut. I'm like, she's like, nope, we will pry it open, break it open, but I'm gluing it shut. And no problem. And
no problem.
I said, Mom, a little bit barbaric, but hey, I like it. And my sister didn't lose any cards. Again, I've seen now some of the newer, again, that was 11 years ago. I'm seeing now a lot of the gift card box have a nice little cute little lock, like heart-shaped lock.
Yes.
Again, but again, it's just something you don't ever want to think about, but it happens, and it's not the first story, and we just kind of educate our client, and again, make sure the planners are communicating or have an action plan as, okay, after guests have sat down and all the money's in the box, or all the cards, gifts are in the box, who's going to be responsible for taking it, putting it in the room, locking it up, or whatever the plan is. Put that in place so that it's already a conversation.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Yes. And I mean, we learned from that, most importantly, we learned, it was like, now hands off, we're not going to touch it. We set it up, not a problem, because it has nothing inside of it. But when it comes time, when we're transitioning from one place to the next, we're not leaving the card box there. We are grabbing mom or whomever your point of contact is, and they're going to come and get it. And it's going to be okay wherever they're going to put it, whether lock it up, put it on your table. Very, very, very important. But that, I don't know, could we have done anything differently? Could there have been anything done differently for that day? I'm not even sure. What do you think?
I would say maybe not. Maybe, as I said, I think the key point of time is that once guests came from Cocktail Hour and went inside the venue, they passed the gift card box on the way in. It no longer needed to be on display. I mean, granted, and it's a part of it too is that you're looking at it as in like they just set up this beautiful table with it, because most of the times they will have like a sign-in book or something else next to it. So it looks like a complete design element in that sense. So almost a takeaway, almost makes it seem like, oh, something's missing from the table. However, because it does have sensitive and monetary value, it's best just to, once the guests have come in, they're seated, everybody's seen the box, probably put the box. There's no need to leave it out there any longer.
Right. I agree.
Or empty it, and then replace it. Put it back.
This is true. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Or just empty it and then let it stay so it still has a nice visual appeal to whatever that table was looking prior. So that's something you could do.
Something to consider. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So is there anything else, any other tips, suggestions that you would like to give our listeners when it comes to researching or finding their venue or whatever the case may be?
I mean, I would say definitely do as much due diligence, but I would definitely encourage them to go to the actual venues, take the tours, meet with the team there. I would say most of my clients, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I would say building a relationship and establishing a trust with a client, you're able to do that once you meet with them. You could talk to them on the phone as much, but I find once clients come in, I'm able to show them all that we can offer and then all that I can offer. And, I find I have a better success rate as far as, booking clients, just because at the end of the day, this is their special day. This is a happy moment. And I think clients want to know that their process with you or with the venue they're choosing is going to be seamless and somebody that they can speak to and not have any, angst or any, ill will, or somebody who's just, some people just, their personalities could clash too, however, but I think it's important to go and take tours and visit these spaces and, meet the team.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Jeannine, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge. I loved hearing about the importance of having your clients having trust in you, building relationships with your vendors, with your clients as well, and absolutely loved that you're living in your purpose. I love it. Absolutely. If we are trying to find, if our listeners are trying to find out more about you, where do they find you? How do they get in contact with you?
Okay, well, definitely. Well, through our website, probably the easiest way, or any of our social media handles. Our website is www.brizaonthebay.com, and that's BrizaOnthebay.com. Through our website, you send a direct email, or fill out the form, and information will go straight to our sales and administrative team, and you definitely will get right to us. We're very diligent about trying to reply back within 24 to 48 hours during the week, or on the weekend, and 24 hours, but within, or if not the day of, within a few hours. So yeah, I am looking forward to anybody's interested. Yes.
Awesome. Listen, guys, if you are looking for a venue, this is an amazing venue. I kid you not. I would not even play around with that. And I'm super picky. Food, excellent. Space, excellent. The staff, the on-site staff team, excellent to work with. And their name is excellent. They really do strive and push for excellence within everything, the venue, the team, and even working with the clients and their vendor selection, absolutely excellent. Thank you so much to Jeannine for coming on our call and giving us her expertise. Again, I can't say that enough. Thank you too much for our listeners, our followers. We love you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to @BalanceBride_, or use our hashtag #BeBalanced, hashtag #BalanceBride, hashtag #BeABalanceBride. Once again, third time, I'm going to say it one more time. Thank you, Jeannine, our guest speaker. Thank you to everyone out there. Be great, be fabulous, and have an awesome week. Bye.
Bye.